Welcome back. So this bass is this has an interesting story to it. It's an American standard jazz bass, and just passive pickups. I used to work at Mars Music when I had freshly graduated with my master's degree. I had to get a job working somewhere. So I worked at Mars Music. Mars Music was a music store chain that didn't have a very good business model, and they went bankrupt. But I lucked out. During their bankruptcy, they hired a liquidation company. A liquidation company comes in, of course, and they buy all the stuff, and then they sell it super cheap. And they take the profits and help the waning company, sell their assets. And as an employee, the liquidation company was actually giving employees discounts on stuff and deals for certain things. And we had a lot of people that were like, I want to get this, whatever. And I just kept my mouth shut. I just did my job. I knew I was going to lose my job, but I just kept quiet. And one of the main boss of the liquidation crew was this really short lady that totally reminds me of the actress in Beetlejuice. This lady. She's got the throat thing and the smoke comes out anyway. You know who I'm talking about. But that was the lady, except not dead. A real lady version person alive. Anyway, so, and she talked with like a real raspy, emphysemic voice because she smoked, every chance she got, she would go outside and smoke. So she walks up to me and says, "Hey, you're doing a really good job here. I want you to get something. Get your discount." I was like, okay. And we had a wall that was like 15 feet tall of just bass guitars hanging on the wall. And just go over there and pick something. So I went to the bass wall and, looked around and looked at the price tags and was thinking, yeah, okay, what's my discount? It's like 25% off or whatever. And yeah, I really don't have the money to get anything, It's just, my wife had just had a second child. My wife at the time had just had our second child, and, I had just bought a new car because we had to have more room to haul the kids around in, and anyway. So I went back to her and I said, everything's just too expensive. I don't know. And she said, well, if you could get something, what would you get? And I was like, well, just that jazz bass over there. I don't own a regular old jazz bass. So she said, go get it. So I went over and I was like, okay, go get it. She's the boss. And she put the code in the computer and looked up what the price was. And she said, you can have it for $300. I was like, $300 for an American standard jazz bass? $300. I was like, all right, I'll buy it. I didn't even care. I didn't eat lunch for like 3 weeks just so that I could afford to get this bass. So I got this bass for $300 out of a liquidation employee discount, whatever you want to call it. And then later, my next job was working at Musician's Friend. The main call center is here in Salt Lake City. So I worked there right after I worked at Mars. And I got that job, real close to when my second child was born. So it all happened really quick. And while I was working there, after a few months, I bought this neck This neck is a Moses graphite neck, and it's just a copy of a jazz bass neck, a 62 jazz bass neck. So I took the wooden neck off and actually joined eBay to sell the neck, and I sold the neck for $300. Someone paid $300 for a standard jazz neck. Then I put on the P bass knobs. I put on the. Can you read that? There you go. Oh, it's upside down. There we go. Badass 3 bridge. And then later, after I had become an Aguilar artist, Aguilar sent me these pickups. They say, "Hey, try these out." So they sent me these pickups. They're the 60s, the passive 60s bass, jazz bass pickups. Anyway, so it's fantastic. It's a great bass. I use it in recordings. I use it for live funk gigs. Sort of the that Jocko-y sort of sound. Anyway, but yeah, it's great. Hip shot. A lot of fun. But yeah, it's been a great bass. I got this almost 15 years ago. American Standard Jazz. Sweet. Alright, so click here for the next one and do all this stuff over here too. So, alright, thanks for watching.